Yo, what is up, everybody? It is Sunday. Hustle, and burn. Come on, man. Bookmark this pod, getting paid. Becoming one of the biggest stories, the drink of the week. See why it's wet goods. Lord have mercy. This week, the drop notch. I don't know. It's just crazy, bro. Because cooked. In them quarantine live videos, if y'all recall, get y'all a quick investment wrap of the week. They tried their upside down ice spice. Goodbye. We out. Yo, what is up, everybody? It is your boy out here, CJ the DJ, coming to you live with a brand new episode of Hustle and Burn. As always, man, appreciate y'all tuning in. It is Sunday. Hopefully everybody had a great week, and hopefully we can end it off right. You dig? Man, oh man. I got a great one for y'all. So we are actually jumping right into it. No sponsors, but shout out the sponsors. No drink of the week, but shout out the drink of the week, man. We getting right into the music, man. Let's get right into it. I told y'all last week Nicki Minaj was on bad timing with Jay-Z, calling him out by name. This week, guys, she on bad timing with SZA, man. With SZA. Nicki accused SZA of sucking her way to the top. She came with receipts on everything. And then apparently someone within TDE's camp, Kendrick Lamar's camp, that kind of posse, SZA's as well, signed to TDE. For those that don't know, same record label Kendrick was, essentially threatened Nicki Minaj. And said, kind of, y'all will see it, but, I'm going to put you in a blender like we did your boy. And Nicki fired back to that saying, who's my boy? We aren't talking about old Tory Lanez, are we? And publicly tweeted at the FBI, the CIA, motherfucking politicians, bruh. Tweeting at him, bruh. And the politician lady tweeted back. I'll show that too, man. But Nicki is on bad timing. And I told y'all last week that a lot of the shit she is saying is true. And that's something that academics weighed in on this week in a couple of his posts, saying basically she's not lying, but nobody defends her in the industry because the individuals not defending her are the ones that have sold their soul. And she knows that shit. She's got the receipts on all this shit. And so that's why you see nobody kind of speaking up to defend Nicki Minaj in these sort of situations, when she's going off on people, when she's saying these things, when she's doing that. But, at the end of the day, my take on it is SZA, just stay out of this. Nicki's on timing, on bad timing right now. Steer clear, my girl. You do not want no smoke with Queen Nicki. She will fry you up, and she ready to snitch and talk to the FBI, the CIA, whoever, to take these guys down, man. This is crazy, all right? Crazy, man. That's really all that happened in the music this week. I just had to bring that up because last week she was on timing, but this week she was going crazy on everything, man. That's just wild to me that she tweeted at the FBI, the CIA, as well as a politician, specifically directly, relating to Jay-Z and kind of this posse, man, that everyone's been talking about within the rap industry. And that's what the funniest thing about the funniest thing to me about kind of the beef with Drake and everything like that is, everyone always says Kendrick is anti-industry and da-da-da-da-da. Kendrick is the industry guy, bro. Like, y'all don't see the flip, y'all don't see the way they flipped your mind around, bro. Kendrick is the industry guy, bro. Come on, bro. Pay attention, fam. Pay attention. Whatever. Probably go over y'all heads, per usual. Anyways, man, we got so much to get into that we moving right, guys, into the Not For Long League, man. Let's get to it. TJ Watt get paid, man. TJ Watt got paid, man. Absolutely paid. Signed a $123 million extension this week. I'm sure everyone saw. $108 million of it is fully guaranteed. $41 million per year makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history for the second time. He beat his own last deal. He beat Myles Garrett's deal by $1 million. And in my opinion, honestly, the $1 million more than Myles Garrett is simply ego at the end of the day. I don't know. Was it really necessary to get that $1 more million above him per year? Whatever, man. Whatever. But the reason I'm really bringing this up is to highlight something I've highlighted with you guys in the past and kind of what I've been saying, man. The Steelers are kind of giving out max deals to guys that are past their prime, while hoping that those guys that are past their prime can compete with teams like the Detroit Lions, can compete with teams like the Washington Commanders. These older guys aren't going to be able to do that for a full stretch of a season. You're going to see a lot of injuries on the Pittsburgh Steelers this season. I'm telling you now. And again, they are more competitive with the individuals that they've kind of put together, more competitive than they were a month ago. Of course, yes. But again, as you bring in these guys that are past their prime, you give them this big money. What it signals to me, I've said it just in regard to Mike Tomlin, but I've also mentioned it briefly within regard to the organization itself. The Pittsburgh Steelers are one of the last few teams in the NFL, guys, that simply haven't stepped into the new era of the NFL. They are still stuck in these old ways of thinking, these old ways of teaching and everything like that, which is why you see no players getting developed out of Pittsburgh in the 15, 20 years that Mike Tomlin's been in the league, right? What players have come out of Pittsburgh aside from Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown? Tell me, what players have come out of Pittsburgh that are just crazy, that they drafted, that they built up? Tell me, I'll sit here and wait. Right. Like, you feel me? So it's like, at the end of the day, man, the Steelers, especially with all of these signings and things, and I don't know if this is by the organization, a last-ditch effort, whatever the case may be, but when you're signing all of these 30-plus-year-old players and these guys that are, again, have taken a step back, clearly, statistically, everything all around from their prime, they're more injury-prone now than they were in their prime a couple years back, everything like that, that tells me that the Steelers are grasping on to, we can still get it done, boys. We can still get it done. Let's bring them together and get the troops. Shut the fuck up, bro. Like, really, you feel me? Like, at the end of the day, the Steelers are one of these organizations, man, just in terms of, I don't know if it's GMs or what it is. It's definitely head coach, but they have not stepped into the new era of the NFL. And so we'll see what they do this year, but that's something that I'm very curious when it happens, how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and how quickly it's going to happen for the Steelers. But I would love to hear your thoughts on that. You guys let me know in the comments, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Spotify, watching, listening, doesn't matter. Comment below what you think. Do the Steelers need to take a step into the new era of the NFL? And if so, how long is it going to take them to do that, man? Because I think it's well past due. All right? Keep it pushing, keep it moving. I told y'all we got a lot in the not for long league. You feel me? Terry McLaurin, man. Terry McLaurin, really, guys, this is a wide receiver for the Washington Commanders. He was their best wide receiver last year. Of course, he has been with Washington for quite some time now in terms of NFL players and things like that. But this situation with Terry McLaurin, guys, for those that don't know, for those that haven't seen, haven't looked into it too much, this could turn into a holdout situation completely, where Terry McLaurin doesn't even step on the field in any way, shape, or form, okay? And I definitely wanted to get into this a little bit because, in my opinion, Terry's still the wide receiver #1 in Washington, okay? The argument here is Terry McLaurin is 31 years old. And I sound like a damn hypocrite because I'm going back to what I just said about, you know, some of these older guys that the Pittsburgh Steelers have signed. But Terry McLaurin has been on the Washington Commanders, again, guys, for quite some time, okay? He is 31 years old, turning 31 years old. But last season for them, he had the most TDs, the most yards, the least amount of turnovers. He was there in the dark days. And now you guys have the cap space. You guys have added Deebo Samuel. And you got a young team. And there's no deal for Terry? I'm not saying Terry McLaurin deserves top 5 wide receiver money. Probably not even top 7, I would say. But top 10 money? Yeah, Terry McLaurin deserves $30 million a year. Yeah, 20 million a year. 25, yeah. In that range. Between 20 to 30 is what Terry deserves per year. I don't care. He's been there. He has the stats. It seems like he's actually getting better progressively as you got this new quarterback coming in. So we'll see what this situation turns into. Again, I don't think Terry McLaurin deserves top 5, top 7 wide receiver money, but I think he's in that 8 to 15 wide receiver category in terms of pay and what he deserves with without question, man. And I think, again, even though I sound like a hypocrite saying that they shouldn't sign older players on the Pittsburgh Steelers, with the Washington Commanders, it's different, guys, because you have a whole new organization, you have a whole new system, you have a whole new culture. I've spoke about it at length. I love what's going on in Washington. Pittsburgh just doesn't have that. They're, again, grasping on to the shit that they had 10, 15 years ago. Whereas Washington is coming off a hot season last year. They got the young QB. They got the great young offensive coordinator. They got the great head coach in Dan Quinn. They got so much, man. And so that's why if I'm Washington, at the end of the day, I'm rewarding Terry McLaurin with a 2 to 3 year deal. I'm not signing Terry McLaurin to a 4 to 5 year contract. Sorry, Terry. Sorry, Terry McLaurin. You getting a 2 to 3 year contract, about 20, 30, about 20, 25 M's a year, bro. Yeah, 50 mil. 2-3 years, 50 mil, 100%. Love it. Would love to see it for Terry McLaurin, man. The Washington Commanders need to get him signed. But again, guys, this situation could end in a holdout. He could completely just not show up to camp, which is about to start. Completely not show up until a deal is done. We shall see, man. Now, I'm going to get into some more Not For Long League, but I'm going to get in a little bit different, the rookies, man, and the impact here. I just want to wrap this up and kind of go over kind of a rookie player impact wrap up with y'all, man. Shedeur Sanders, guys, he's dominating the merch sales, okay? And this came out early this week, but Shedeur Sanders, guys, he has surpassed $250 million in jersey sales already, okay? And for him, based on the contract that he signed for the jersey, the percentage that he receives from that is going to earn Shedeur Sanders around $12 to $15 million before he even takes a snap in the league, okay? And so what's crazy to me is if Shedeur Sanders is able to beat these guys out for the starting position, and Shedeur Sanders is able to win a couple football games in the NFL, yeah, that number is going to go from 250 and probably double and hit 500 plus easy if Shedeur Sanders wins even 2 games in the NFL. Mark my words on that. Talk about perfect timing. Y'all know I love Shedorsky, man. Love Shedorsky. I do hear he's been kind of struggling in camp a little bit. And it is more of a battle than people expected it to be. And that's what's great, man. Shedeur has a lot to learn, a lot to grow into as he becomes an NFL, caliber quarterback. So the fact that he's still in there competing just shows the grit, the determination he has, and shows that he still has room to develop. And as long as he's taking heed and he's listening, or heeding, I don't know. For my Office fans, I don't know. As long as he's, still in there, man, he's still grinding, he's still hustling, he's still working for that #1 spot, and he's consistently taking advice from the coach, taking criticism, things of that nature. Can't go wrong with Shedeur Sanders continuing up the board on the depth chart. And again, if he wins a couple football games, man, Shedeur Sanders is probably going to be the #1 selling jersey, not just among the rookies like he is now, but among the entire NFL. Mark my words on it. All right? Mark my words on it. Now, the big rookie drama, guys, is Shemar Stewart. In my opinion, he's probably the smartest rookie in the league, as we've said multiple times in the past couple weeks leading up to this stuff, and as camp has begun, or is about to begin for them. He's still unsigned due to contract verbiage, okay? He is unsigned. He left his team's kind of rookie camp and everything, went back to begin practicing with his college team, Texas A&M, okay? And why I think that's so interesting, guys, I do want to say Shemar Stewart did report to camp yesterday on Saturday. He did report to camp, okay? So he reported to camp. There's no word on if he's going to be participating, if he's not participating yet. Essentially, they're trying to get something done, but it's all about the verbiage for him, right? And so what makes this extremely interesting, and I think should make it even more alarming for the Cincinnati Bengals, guys, is, shout out to Alani, man. What I think makes it so much more interesting for Shemar as he kind of goes back to his previous team, guys, is Texas A&M, a couple of these teams, they've been in the news because they do have some billionaire boosters, okay, that are on their roster. So they have billionaire boosters that are essentially coming in, spending boatloads of money, okay, to be able to bring players in, to be able to get these top caliber guys. At the end of the day, guys, what college has turned into, for those that haven't paid attention, for those that aren't kind of in the sports hemisphere, basically these college players are damn near getting paid like NFL players. Not like NFL players, but these college players, man, are getting paid in some places between $4 to $10 million, and that's just from the school specifically, not any endorsements that they may have outside the school, everything like that. So college has almost damn near turned into an NFL sort of caliber league in terms of pay for these guys. And so you have teams where their boosters are simply, hey, we don't care. We'll spend as much money as it takes to be able to recruit these guys, get these guys here. And so the Bengals really fumbled bad on Shamar Stewart because Shamar Stewart has so much leverage right now. What he can do, it's already been stated that he can sign for reinstatement. He can apply for reinstatement, guys, with the NCAA. Okay, we mentioned that. He can apply for reinstatement with the NCAA and actually go back and play football in college. Now, let's say he goes back to his old team. They got a billionaire booster that can just pay him, let's say, $5 to $10 million. Why would he not do that? That gives him so much more leverage at this point for Shamar Stewart. So he could re-enter the draft next year, hopefully not get drafted by the Bengals next year, and kind of avoid and dodge the bullet that is the Cincinnati Bengals, man, when it comes to this sort of thing. We've chatted about it, but I just wanted to highlight that. He has come to camp as of Saturday. There's still no deal done. So we shall see what happens with Shamar Stewart. But at this point, if there's no deal done within the next kind of 2 to 4 weeks here, Shamar Stewart is not ever going to be in a Cincinnati Bengal jersey. So I'm very excited to continue watching kind of what goes on. But the fact that his old college team now has a billionaire booster that's kind of willing to just spend money willy-nilly to be able to bring these players in makes this even more interesting, man, because it gives Shamar Stewart that much more leverage over the Cincinnati Bengals to get a deal done. And it actually pushes the NFL to try and get a deal done because it's going to set a crazy precedent for the future of the NFL if Shamar Stewart were to go back and get reinstated into the NCAA. And I don't think that's something the NFL's ready to deal with right now with the NIL as it's so big and everything. Trump just mentioned, it's rumored, guys, that Trump is most likely going to sign an executive order to put a cap on NIL deals for college football. That is absolutely insane, okay? And that's how far these NIL deals have went. Again, we've spoken about it. Shout out to the train, man. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. We've spoken about it at length, though, guys, at the end of the day. These NIL deals are crazy. They incentivize players to, at the end of the day, stay in college, make a couple bags if they're not a top 5, top 10 player within the NFL draft. So we shall see what's going to go on there. But keep an eye on that, man, because if there's no deal done within the next about 2 to 4 weeks here, again, Shamar Stewart will never be in a Cincinnati Bengal jersey. So let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it moving, man. We're actually going to continue with the rookie theme here as we go. And, you know, a lot of these second-round rookies, guys, this is a story that not a lot of people are talking about, but I think it needs to be highlighted more. So I'm coming on today, as I do, to highlight things that I think are extremely important that can kind of shake things up. Not only is Shamar Stewart sitting out, guys, that's huge for rookies. That could kind of reset the rookie market in the future, depending on what happens there. But in the second round, guys, about 28, 29 of the 32 second-round picks in this year's NFL draft, guys, are still unsigned. Still unsigned, guys. And some of them have the same rights as Shamar Stewart to apply for reinstatement into the NCAA and go back to college for another year and re-enter the draft next year. So it's extremely interesting. Again, 28 to 29 of the 32. It was 30 of the 32, but I believe 1 or 2 more of them had signed over the course of this week since I was kind of looking into this and everything. But what they want, guys, is every single second round pick, okay? They all want fully guaranteed contracts. So what happened is Cleveland, Houston picked first in the second round draft. Cleveland and Houston signed their rookies' second round picks to fully guaranteed contracts. Because of that, every agent for every other second round pick told them, do not sign your contract unless it's fully guaranteed. New Orleans comes in, they sign their rookie second round pick to a fully guaranteed. So that's now 3 second round picks that have fully guaranteed rookie deals. You sound like fucking Quagmire. But again, that's now 3 second round picks that have fully guaranteed contracts. So what happened, guys, is all of these agents said, hey man, you do as you please. I'm just an agent advising you for your best case, but I would recommend pushing for a fully guaranteed contract and not sign until you get it. These are our options. This is what you have. And that's exactly what these players are doing, man. So keep an eye on that. Not only Shamar Stewart, the first round pick, holding out, the second round picks, damn near every single one of them, guys, has not signed their contract. And if they have the potential to return to the NCAA for reinstatement, that's going to be interesting and shake things up. So again, this whole culture of NIL has just really shaken things up completely for these teams, for these players as well. And in terms of kind of the audacity of these rookies, man, the rookies, this is a complete new era coming in, man. You got Shador, he's winning on and off the field. You got Shamar, man, who may reset the kind of contract model for these rookies. You got Travis Hunter, who's flying under the radar, as Travis does, but you know he's a killer. He's coming to play this season on both sides of the ball. You feel me? And this rookie class, man, they haven't even hit the field yet, but they're already setting the tone for another brand new future. Again, I mentioned the Steelers need to kind of move into the new era. These rookies damn near are bringing in another new era to the NFL, man, by the way things are going, and they haven't even touched the field yet. Just by their actions, just by their words, just by what these guys are doing from top to bottom, first round picks, second round picks, their actions because of this NIL is becoming crazy and unprecedented. So we have to keep an eye on it. We have to keep highlighting it more than it's being highlighted, guys, because it's not in the news. And I don't know why it's not in the news. Again, I think the NFL is really scared to publicly combat the NFL, or the NIL, I'm sorry. But we shall see, man. We shall see. Now, let's keep it pushing. I told y'all I got a bunch of not-for-long leagues this week, man. There was a bunch of news going on at the end of the day. You got to love it, baby. But the Jets, man, the Jets core is now looking solid, okay? They locked up Sauce Gardner. He is now the highest-paid cornerback in NFL history, okay? They got Garrett Wilson as well, locked him up to a long-term deal. And so what that signals for me is at the end of the day, you have your two cornerstones on your team. You have the cornerstone of the offense in Garrett Wilson. You have the cornerstone of the defense in Sauce Gardner at the end of the day. You signed both of these guys for between 3 to 5 years, respectively. And at the end of the day, you got a good running back in Breece Hall. I know Breece Hall kind of took a step back this season, but you have a good running back. You have, again, Garrett Wilson on the outside. If you can get competent QB play on the New York Jets, they do have the surrounding pieces. They have the offensive line. They have the defensive line. The Jets can be good, man. If you can get some competent quarterback play, and we'll see what Justin Fields brings to the table because he's a mobile quarterback especially, the Jets, man, they could be good. Okay, the Jets could be really good this season. I'm extremely interested in that storyline. And, you know, Aaron Glenn as a previous player, bringing the team kind of back to relevance and everything like that. I'm extremely interested, and I will be highlighting that story a lot this upcoming season because I think it's dope when you see something like that, if it's able to happen. Again, we haven't seen him step on the field. We haven't seen what it looks like. But one thing I do want to mention, and this is something I'm mentioning, guys, because from here on out, as we lead into this season, we will be having a fantasy football wrap up as we chat about the Not For Long League. So, the fantasy wrap of the week, guys. We're going to continue chatting about the Jets here. But last season, guys, as Breece Hall again took a step back, Braylon Allen, a rookie running back, came in behind him and was balling out. Okay? Braylon Allen, guys, is he's a running back, obviously, but he can catch the football very, very well. Okay, and he displayed that last season. And so when you have more of a mobile quarterback, your pocket's going to be moving, things of that nature. You kind of need that running back that can slip out of the backfield, kind of make a 1-2 move and go. And that is Braylon Allen. Okay, and so I'm not saying don't draft Breece Hall. What I'm saying is, guys, if Breece Hall comes out flat, this is for fantasy football owners, for people that are thinking of picking him. If Breece Hall comes out flat and Braylon Allen comes out consistent like he was last year for the first 3 to 5 weeks, do not be surprised if you see the Jets move on from Breece Hall and squeeze as much draft capital out of him as they can and continue with Braylon Allen. Again, Braylon Allen had a great rookie season. I'm looking for him to have a great sophomore season, so keep an eye on that story as this entire Jets story develops, okay? Going to continue with the fantasy rap of the week for y'all, man. Jordan Addison this week, guys. Obviously a stellar wide receiver, stellar fantasy draft pick, of course. However, Jordan Addison, his DUI case, guys, he pled down to a lesser charge, okay? But he did plead guilty to essentially a driving under the influence case, okay? So he has to take online classes. He's on probation. He has like a $390 fine, yada, 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 yada. That's not the implications and why I'm bringing it up. Why I'm bringing it up, guys, is because he admitted to driving under the influence, okay? Per NFL policy, if you admit to driving under the influence, it is an automatic minimum 3-game suspension, guys. So, Jordan Addison, immediately in terms of high-value draft pick stock in fantasy, it drops. He's going to miss the start of the season, okay? Let's keep in mind he has a rookie quarterback in J.J. McCarthy that's never stepped foot on an NFL field, okay? At this point, he's now a late-round stash. He has to be a late-round stash. If he's still there late round, you might try and scoop him up, but just know Jordan Addison isn't touching the field till week 4 or 5, and who knows what J.J. McCarthy's going to look like by then. Who knows what the Vikings will be this season. So I'm just putting it on y'all's radar, man. Keep an eye on Jordan Addison. He will automatically miss a minimum of 3 games, okay, per NFL policy due to the admission of driving under the influence, all right? Another guy with some legal trouble this week, I'm sure y'all saw from my NFL fans, but for those that didn't, Rashee Rice, man. Rashee Rice got some legal trouble. He was sentenced to 30 days in jail, which is to be served over the course of his 5-year probation. This is some of the dumbest shit I have ever heard, okay? So basically, over the course of the next 5 years, he has to go to jail for a total of 30 days. Whatever, bro. Whatever, okay? But he pled guilty, guys, to racing plus bodily harm, okay? So not driving under the influence or anything like that, but basically he was street racing, guys, lost control of the car, they wrecked, and it caused severe injuries to these people in Texas, okay? So he pled guilty to that. He already had a season-ending injury last season, guys, in week 4, okay? So that's what Rashee Rice is coming off, was a season-ending injury, had surgery, got everything repaired, supposed to be back this season, but most people are suspecting that a suspension is coming from the NFL for this case. Again, guys, these injuries that they caused during the crash were pretty horrific. So suspension is most likely as well coming for Rashee Rice. That's why I'm putting it on Fantasy Manager's radar, because that's another guy that a lot of people projected high to go in the first at least probably 3 to 5 rounds, I would guess, depending on how big your league is. I know in my league, definitely within the first 3 to 5 rounds, most likely Rashee Rice was going to be going. So at the end of the day, man, for fantasy owners plus Chiefs fans, I would just be cautious with Rashee Rice. It hasn't been announced what the suspension is going to be, but it is suspected there will be a suspension for Rashee Rice, man. So I just wanted to bring that up for you guys. And we got a lot with these fantasy managers. We got a lot with these players this week. Another big story that just came out, guys, Friday nights into Saturday morning here. The San Francisco 49ers, guys, placed Brandon Ayuk and Ricky Pearsall, that's their number 1 and number 2 receivers, on the inactive / physically unable to perform list, okay? And I'm mad as hell, because Ricky Pearsall was my sleeper pick. That was my sleeper round pick, man. We'll see if he gets back, in time for the season. But as of now, guys, those 2 are out of the picture. And if they're on the inactive / physically unable to perform list, leading up to my NFL draft, which is in about 3 to 4 weeks, I got them off my draft board. I got both of those guys off my draft board. If you're on the physically unable to perform list, I don't want you on my draft board. I'm not even checking for you right now. Again, I will continue to follow along with this story as it progresses, and we'll see where those guys end up by, the start of the regular season. But a lot of fantasy football drafts are coming up next month. I know mine's mid-August, so I got about 30 days until mine. So I got to put that on y'all's radar, man. And I'm mad because Ricky Pearsall was my sleeper pick. But at the end of the day, man, that's San Francisco's number 1 and number 2 targets. So who is Brock Purdy, who you just signed to the massive contract? We talked about Purdy getting paid. You feel me? Who is Brock Purdy? Who? Where the Owls at, man? OVO. Who is Brock Purdy going to throw to, man? I just don't know, okay? And I think this season we're really, at the beginning of this year, about to see what Brock Purdy is all about, okay? This is when we really see what Brock Purdy is all about, man. Because, again, realistically, who does he have to throw to, man? Brandon Ayuk's out. Ricky Pearsall's out. Who is Brock Purdy going to throw to? We shall see, man. That is enough of the Not For Long League, man. That is enough of the fantasy rap of the week this week, guys. Again, that is going to be something that I'm going to be having coming for y'all. I know my league listeners. I know the guys in my league that be listening to the pod trying to get the scoop on, you know, what I'm going to be doing. I might just lie on this motherfucker a couple times just to catch y'all in some shit. Watch. I'm gonna keep y'all on your toes for my guys in my league, man. I'm gonna keep y'all on your toes, man. Don't play with me. I'm gonna throw some fake takes out, man. I'm gonna throw some fake takes out on the fantasy rap just to trick y'all, man. Make sure y'all ain't doing nothing crazy, copying my plays, man. But let's keep it pushing, let's keep it moving, man. That's enough of the Not For Long League and the, again, fantasy rap of the week, which I will have for y'all guys consistently as we get into the season, definitely. But let's get into the investment rap of the week this week, guys. This is kind of a part of what I mentioned last week, guys, about my knowledge and kind of things that I know that, you know, a lot of people probably don't know and aren't paying attention to, but is extremely important, guys, okay? So this week, guys, for the investment wrap of the week, what I'm going to be talking about is ISO 222, okay? The Fed wire upgrade. Guys, this is a big deal. Now, for those that don't know what the Fed wire is, think of the Fed wire like a money highway. Okay, so it's the invisible money highway that this bank is sending to this bank, and this country sending to this country, that country sending there. That is what the Fed wire is, but within the United States, okay? Now, the old model of the Fed wire, guys, what it used to be is basically every institution had a different system for how they may send money. So Wells Fargo does it different than Chase, does it different than CCU, does it different than this company, does it different than this bank, okay? Everyone had basically a different system, and so what that caused is delays, errors. It allowed fraud because there are certain things that aren't checked in one place that may be checked in another place that slip through here, right? So now the new ISO 222 update, guys, what it is it's real time, it's secure, and for me the biggest thing, guys, is it is blockchain friendly, okay? And so now we kind of merge regular banks with crypto, guys, all right? And now coins like XRP, XLM, Stellar Lumen, ADA Cardano, they are already compatible with this new system that the United States finally updated to. And this kind of caught us up to the rest of the world, realistically. We were on an old system. That's why this is so huge, guys. So translation for this is if banks integrate blockchain, which they now have the ability to do, guys, XRP and other coins are going to be flying faster than they already are. You guys see them already flying. XRP spiked like 25% after the ISO 222 kind of released on the 14th of July. But I've been watching it since it dipped under $2 earlier this year, guys. It's now pushing above the 3, right? Like this is a 6-month swing with XRP. And so that's why I'm bringing this ISO 2022 kind of FedWire upgrade and update up to you guys. This is all banking shit, okay? You guys know I'm in banking. This is all banking shit and kind of how it works. But the reason that I'm bringing it up is because it now connects the crypto directly to the banks. And there's certain legislation that's being passed, certain bills that are being passed to allow banks to now start getting into crypto, to allow retirement accounts to start investing in crypto. Guys, this is huge. Banks, everything you see with the crypto market, again, I just mentioned there's been, 60% increases on XRP, 60% decreases on XRP, on Bitcoin, everything like that. There's been all that sort of thing. Guys, that's happening from the public retail, okay? And all the hype and all these rich people that are investing. The banks haven't even been able to invest in this shit, yo. The banks haven't even really been able to use it as an asset and figure out how they're going to be able to use it. Now they can. With this new system, the banks can now do that. And so that's why this is so important, guys. Is because, again, the translation is banks are going to begin using blockchain networks. Banks are going to begin using cryptos. A lot of banks are going to begin using XRP, XLM, Stellar Lumen, ADA Cardano, United States-based cryptocurrencies. And so now I go back to something that I told you guys previously that Donald Trump campaigned on. And he has capped about a lot that he campaigned on, I will say that. However, one thing he campaigned on, guys, was he floated the idea that there should be no capital gain tax for US-based cryptocurrencies and stable coins. So XRP, XLM, ADA Cardano. He's now even saying potentially Bitcoin will have no capital gains on it. Okay, and you see the way that these guys are getting these bills through. That's what happens when you got the House and everything like that. These guys run the House, the Senate, they got it locked down, man. That's why you see these bills flying through and being signed in, these executive orders and all that, man. Okay, but what's going to happen, guys, if this is true and they put especially no capital gain tax on American cryptocurrencies, I promise you what you are going to see is these coins go higher than you ever imagined. So if you even have $100-200, put that shit in some crypto right now, bro. I'm telling you, put it in some crypto right now. You're already a little late, but you haven't missed the run, bro. This shit is the future. We've been saying this. And now I'm telling you guys, this new ISO 200-2022 FedWire upgrade, what it does is it directly allows banks to integrate with the crypto system and the blockchain, man. And that's extremely important to the future of the crypto system and everything happening in that market. So we shall see, man. We shall see. But again, I wanted to bring that up. That's something that, you know, a lot of you guys probably hadn't heard about, hadn't seen. That's something that's important. That's changing the landscape of not only the banking system, but the infrastructure of the financial system. Okay, and that's going to lead right into the next thing that I'm going to chat about for the investment wrap of the week that I want you guys to keep an eye on. Y'all know I'm talking my shit and I see shit before it happens because I see pattern recognition, and right now I see a pattern happening. So I'm going to bring it up to y'all, and when this shit happens, I'm going to say told you so, like I always do, of course. Okay, so Elon Musk, man. Elon Musk, his company XAI lands a Pentagon contract, okay? His Grok AI just got a $200 million deal with the Pentagon, guys, basically. So, you know, despite his fallout with Trump, Elon is still getting the bag at his companies, you feel me? Like, Elon is still getting the bags. And so, why I'm highlighting this, guys, and kind of what Elon's up to, Elon bought X, he bought Twitter for $1 billion, guys, okay? Think about the fact, now he delisted it. It's no longer a public company. It's completely private, as are majority of Elon's companies, you know, SpaceX, stuff like that. Completely privatized X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it at the end of the day, okay? Now he got a $200 million military contract from the Pentagon, okay? During the election, he had the most impressions of any social media platform out there, okay? So he had the most people participating and actively kind of on his platform. And Twitter, X, again, whatever you want to call it, guys, it's a lot bigger than most of you think. A lot of the new streamer community especially is either on the streams or they're on Twitter. There's no Facebook, Instagram, they're on that stuff, but it's a lot of times streams and Twitter, I promise you. And so X is still very big, but during the election, he had the most impressions. Now, what Elon has already publicly said, and what the rumors are that he's working on, is he's taking X and he wants to turn it into a payment processing system, or a system that allows you to be able to send and receive money, kind of like a wallet. So X would be its own personal digitalized wallet, okay? And why I think that's extremely important for you guys is I want you to remember Elon Musk co-founded PayPal, okay? So he built a payment system. He built the payment system that kind of set the foundation and the precedent for majority of the payment systems that operate today. All right. With crypto and stable coins, guys, getting into the banking, getting in more to the mainstream, because I promise you, they're still not even into the mainstream. They are still not mainstream, guys. Obviously, in my hemisphere, they're very important, but in the mainstream, crypto is just now coming up. Crypto's on MSN, CNN, NBC, all these damn news outlets now. Ripple, XRP, like this, it's getting insane. But it's not even fully mainstream yet, guys. And once that happens, there's going to be a lane for Elon and X to dominate. okay? And I want you to keep an eye on it because it's going to be something like kind of like Zuckerberg did. Essentially, like, think about the fact, guys, that when you're on the blockchain, you can be completely decentralized. You don't have to use a bank. So essentially what Elon can do is he can have a reserve of these funds and everything like that. He can have you come onto his platform. You can just receive $20. It's like Apple Pay, guys. Like, you can, that's on Apple's network. That's Apple's digital currency, that Apple money. You notice how it stays in an Apple wallet until you send it to your bank, then it turns into USD when it's in your bank. But while it's in your wallet, technically what it is, it's technically USD, but what if that turned into XRP? What if that turned into Bitcoin? What if that turned into Ethereum? What if that turned into Cardano? Who knows what the possibilities are in the future for these companies to be partnering with these cryptocurrencies, but that's something that Elon Musk is rumored to quietly be working on in the background for X, is for you to be able to essentially send money, receive money, kind of like a Zelle, directly, immediately, no bank, completely decentralized, and there's going to be a lane for Elon. So I'm just mad that X isn't a publicly traded company anymore, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I want to highlight that, guys, as we move into kind of this new future, as you hear the Vice President of the United States talking specifically about stable coins, when you hear something like that, what you should probably do is go on Google or ChatGPT, okay, and look up what the fuck a stable coin is, and look up what you need to do to get stable coins and what you need to do to get ahead of the game, because it's all about getting ahead, okay? That is the investment wrap of the week for y'all, man. And I just really wanted to have a closing thought with y'all, just real quick, real briefly, before I let y'all out of here, man. You know, just about kind of a realization that I've had that I think everyone needs to go through, especially when you're building the momentum that we've been talking about, when you're stacking those wins, when you're just staying motivated, you're staying positive, you're staying thankful and grateful. Really, guys, you know, what I was thinking to myself was like, if I would have listened to them, bro, I wouldn't be here. Like, if I would have listened to these haters, if I would have listened to these outside sources when I was between the age of 16 and 20, I wouldn't be where I am today. And so if I would have listened to them, I wouldn't have what I have right now. And again, I'm speaking on specifically between the age of like 16 to 21, 22. Like, if I would have listened to all these outside sources and haters, I wouldn't have what I have today. And so it's like, what the fuck do I look like now, giving a fuck now, when I've already put in work, when I already have some nice shit, when I already have a great foundation? Like, you feel me? So now the mentality is like, you like me? Great. You don't like me? Great. It don't matter, because I don't need you. I don't need you. All I needed at the end of the day is me. And now I have me. Now I'm back to what it used to be, where I have me. And I know what I'm bringing. And I'm speaking in everyday life. I know what I'm bringing. I know what I bring to the table. I know the positivity I'm pushing out. I know the respect, the love, the everything that I'm pushing out. So I'm going to continue to win. So now what? Now what for you? I'm standing on all 10 toes, doing everything I said I would. So now what? I'm following through. So now what? I'm investing and it's working. So now what? Right? Like we're 47 episodes in, approaching episode 50. Staying consistent on the pod like we said we would. So now what? You feel me? Like, I'm in the gym 4 times a week. Only 4 times a week. And I look better than majority of y'all. So now what? You feel me? That's just the mentality that I'm on. I don't drink. So now what? What? Now what, bro? I don't be outside, really. I don't need to be outside. So now what? So now what, bro? So now what? When you have yourself, you don't need anyone else. And that's not a knock to anyone. That's not saying you don't have to have the people you love. Of course, I've been telling y'all and preaching that. Cherish the people that are around you that make you feel good. But other than that, man, now what? Y'all heard the shit that I'm doing? We killing right now. So again, now what, man? Now what? Y'all haters gonna have to go find a new excuse to hate on me, bruh. You gonna have to go find a new excuse. Because I'm standing on all 10 toes. I'm pushing P. I'm killing in the gym. I'm staying consistent. I'm staying positive. y'all gonna have to go find something new to dig up to hate on. And at that point, you just look like a severe hater. But for me, baby, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I say that so fucking seriously and wholeheartedly. Looking dead straight in that camera. I'm back. Because I got me again. And when I have that, I'm dangerous. Shout out to Alani, man. Shout out to the sponsor, since we didn't say him at the beginning, Diamond Consulting, man. This has been another episode of Hustle and Burn. We out. Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? It is Sunday. Hustle, hustle, and burn. Come on, man. Bookmark this pod. Be getting paid. Becoming one of the biggest stories, the drink of the week. See why it's wet goods. Lord have mercy. This week, the drop notch. I don't know. It's just crazy, bro. Because cooked in them quarantine live videos, if y'all recall. Get y'all a quick investment wrap of the week. They tried their upside down. Ice Spice. Goodbye. We out.